uncomfortable in the folding chairs, you're welcome to bring a cushion from home, and I also will try to get cushions for you. Clipboards will be here Wednesday, so those of you that are going to be in Classroom C, just bear with me. But if you need a chair or you are uncomfortable in a desk, sit in Classroom C. No longer can we have free-flowing chairs in Classroom A or B. And that's just to help the facilitators. That's nothing personal. Also, the first nook right by the kitchen is now reserved for IOP therapists or facilitators. Any and all items that belong to clients, I have taken all folders and paperwork, and it's in Classroom A in the cabinet, or it's in the next nook over on top of that kitchen table type thing in front of the armoire. So no longer put your things over there. That is just reserved for the facilitators only. We do have our private items over there and confidential stuff, so we ask that you not go into that area. So, and besides that, I think that's it. So let's get going. So healthy relationships, there's no definite or defined definition or explanation to healthy relationships, but what they are basically is they are relationships that are characterized by mutual love and respect. Healthy relationships share certain characteristics that everyone should expect and everyone should follow. So that's where the mutual comes in, right? That looks like respect, communication, boundaries, right? It's basically allowing you to be you. That is what a healthy relationship does. It allows you to be you, and it allows the other person to be them without restraints, without judgment. Correct? Everybody agree? We all search for healthy relationships, no matter if that's family, friends. We are in search of it every day, all day, because toxic and unhealthy relationships tend to keep us irritable and angry. Agreed? So we don't want to be in those relationships. Even though we do fall into them sometimes, we don't want to be in them. What healthy relationships do for us is so with the types of relationships, we have family, friends, romantic, and casual, right? Romantic obviously would be significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, people we're dating. Casual would be professional, teachers, doctors, clergy, probation officers, etc. And acquaintances are people who know and who we know and recognize, but aren't in our immediate friend circle. So I also want you to add on to the list, because I know you're jotting these types of relationships down. I want you to add self, 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 because that's a very important relationship. In fact, it's the most important one that we'll have in our life. Today we're going to focus on self, family, and romantic. So write those down. I'll give you a minute. So throughout life, our healthy relationships would include about, we're going to give this about 70%, this orange area. About 70% of our relationships are with acquaintances. 20% is friends, and 10% is inner circle of family and friends. You know, I don't know if you've heard the old saying that basically at the end of your days, you'll be able to count all your friends on one hand. So this is kind of just reiterating that and kind of showing what, over a lifespan, what our healthy relationships look like and who they're with. So let's talk about relationship with self. What does that look like? What does it mean, right? A relationship with myself. A relationship with self looks like self-care. It looks like self-love. It looks like putting you as a priority. It looks like knowing yourself, right? One of the key ingredients to having a healthy relationship is for us to have a relationship with ourselves. It's the most important relationship we will ever have is the one with ourselves. So remember that. I want you to write down these key points right here. Most important relationship you will have is the one with yourself. It literally is the foundation in which all other relationships are formed. And we'll get into this in the next slide as to why. They help us find purpose and to live the life we want. That is self-love, right? Being aware, self-awareness, that is self-love. It's being comfortable in our own skin. To have successful relationships, we must love ourselves first before we can love another. Having a healthy relationship with ourselves means you have a stable self-concept. You are comfortable in your own skin to the point where you don't need attachment from others in order to feel whole. Right? That looks like being okay with being alone. That's a very important. People need to be okay with being alone. When people aren't okay with being alone, when they're not comfortable in their own skin, they have no business having relationships with others because those relationships are not going to be successful. We can't give what we don't have. So we can't love somebody with what we don't have. And if we don't love ourselves, how can we love anybody else or allow anybody to love us? Right? Give you a second to write any of that down if you want to. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Maslow, but he did the hierarchy of needs. This is his quote. It says, taken together, the relationship we have with our self-concept can invariably prevent our ability to achieve our overall desired level of satisfaction and happiness in our lives. If you're not happy with yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you're not accepting of yourself, you will not find happiness. You have to be good with being alone and sitting in that moment with yourself. So here's some basic ideas of how you can have a good relationship with yourself. First, you need to set intention. What is it? I should say, what is that? I should say, what is it that you truly want? I must have been working on Ebonics last night. What is it that you truly want? Set intention. What is your intentions? Right? That's important to know what direction you're going. Number 2 is plan for the short, middle, and long term. It's important to set priorities and goals for different time frames, right? Always have a plan. That will make you comfortable in life. That will make you happy in life because you'll feel safe and secure. Be accepting of yourself, right? Change is inevitable. So just be accepting of that. Prioritize basic self-care. Sleep, nutrition, activity, rest, and recreation, and mental habits are the foundation of a sustainable self-care, right? If we're not happy, if we're not projecting happy, if we're not feeling happy inside and out, we're not going to show that to anybody, right? We're just going to show mediocre. So remember that. Self-care, basic self-care, get good sleep, eat right, okay? Number 5 is be kind to yourself. No destructively aggressive criticism or blame. Stop blaming yourself. It doesn't mean to let yourself off the hook, but it does mean not to criticize or blame yourself. Number 6 is seek others who fit your goals, right? Birds of a feather, right? So seek others who fit in your lifestyle and your goals. Be optimistic. Perfectionism and all or nothing thinking is the enemy, okay? You do not need to be perfect to be in progress, okay? Be optimistic. Have a better outlook on things. Number 9 is maintain meaningful activity, right? Do something that means something to you, meaningful, right? Be active. Number 10 is establish good habits. Good habits are important. They make us feel good, right? If the inside feels good, the outside feels good. So establish good habits. Okay, this is important for the relationship with yourself. Again, the relationship you have with yourself will be the foundation that lays for all other relationships.
Your view of the world really depends upon how much you respect yourself. How much love do you have for yourself? When you trust in yourself, you're trusting in the same wisdom that created you. When you fail to trust in yourself, when you fail to love yourself, you are denying your own divinity, and therefore attracting the exact opposite of what this source is. This is a source of love. It is a source of great respect. It doesn't create anything that it doesn't have a loving feeling toward. If you don't have that feeling of love toward yourself, you can't extend it outward, for who can give away what they don't have for themselves? Who can do that? I've often used the metaphor of an orange. If you squeeze an orange, you get out of it orange juice. Why? It's an orange. That's what's inside. And when you squeeze you, someone puts pressure on you, says something about you that you don't like, and out of you comes anger and hatred and bitterness and tension and fear and anxiety and depression and worry and stress. It's not because of who did the squeezing. It's not because of the instrument they used or the timing. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with what's inside. If you don't have love for yourself, you're not trusting in the wisdom that created you. And the idea of being able to respect yourself at all times, how do you go about doing this? You spend your life in a state of cooperation rather than competition. You see yourself as someone who is love in action. That's what you have to be, love in action. You suggest to yourself